Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton.
I'm Charlie Neff.
And today we've got a very special episode where we're talking to the three ladies from the cringiest reality TV episode ever. It was called Date My Mum, the show back
On
then.
MTV.
And you three were the children of your mums dated this guy.
Yes.
And then the guy decided who he wanted to date next, having talked to your mums. So you guys are reuniting today for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you very much, Heather, Casey, Charlie.
I know, it's so weird to be on kind of the interview side, but also a part of this. So I had posted our episode from 2006 on social media and it totally went viral and it has almost 60 million views. Chrissy Teigen liked it, Diplo liked it. And kind of like Charlie explained, this is the iconic MTV era where, it's kind of like trash TV.
Yeah.
It's like a one episode kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it really resonated with people because it's hilarious, but also the nostalgia of it is so good. But yeah, so basically the guy goes on a date with three moms and he decides who he wants to go on the date with from what the mom describes about her daughter. And so the clip that I had posted was from the reveal in the end, and we actually have the clip. We're going to play it for you now.
It's easy to be loved. Easy to be loved when you look like that.
A girl that hot can afford to be rude. I should have picked her. They just keep getting hotter and hotter. The girl that I picked must be amazing. Okay, the boobs are big. I'll give her that.
Oh my gosh.
So many
That
things.
is hilarious.
So many things.
So many cringiness.
First,
So
where's Nick? Why have we got you three here and no Nick?
So I did reach out to Nick when we were kind of putting together this reunion, and he didn't want to be a part of any kind of reunion, which I don't know if he's embarrassed because the episode kind of doesn't hold up today.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I don't know if he's embarrassed or what, but I feel like he should have been here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Yeah.
What are your guys' first sort of impressions watching it back now, 20 years on? What comes to mind when you watch it now?
I just think it's picture perfect, bittersweet, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
This is the trademark 2000s, and this was the shit back then.
Yeah, it was.
But now, we were saying, none of this would fly.
Totally.
Now,
Right.
we MTV would be in so much trouble if they were.
Yeah, and so in the early 2000s, MTV had some nostalgic shows like Parental Control, Room Raiders, Next, Date My Mom, and watching back some of these shows, like our episode from Date My Mom, do you guys think MTV or networks like this could get away with shows or episodes like ours or the storyline?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel the storyline has potential, but I think the way they did it, the one-liners are so cringe.
Super cheesy and
Super cheesy.
fake. And
How much of that is scripted or is it
I
is it
honestly
not?
don't remember a whole lot of that.
Yeah, I do remember them kind of feeding lines. I do remember they told my mom oh, if your daughter doesn't get it, what are you going to say? And she would say oh, I'm going to tell him that was silly of you. And they're no, maybe you should say something a little bit more harsh.
Right.
He's not beautiful. And my mom's oh yeah, I guess he's not beautiful. So I remember that a little bit. They did kind of tell my mom or coach her or kind of tell us, in a way, giving us ideas of what to say.
I remember the end part where we call him stupid. That was for sure.
Yeah.
That line was,
And I think it's
absolutely.
pretty obvious, on it too, watching it when, our moms are Nick, no, Nick. Like, it just feels so, like, not natural.
Yeah, totally.
Date My
100%.
Mum isn't around today, is it?
No,
No.
it actually ended in 2006, the year
Oh,
that
did it?
ours aired. Yeah, so I guess
Okay.
it aired from 2004 to 2006.
Okay.
As a general concept, do you think Date My Mum could be a show that comes back? It's just, what I'm saying is, like, it's not so much the premise that is cringy, it's just the way that they shot your episode.
Yeah.
I haven't seen many other episodes, but this one is just, it just seems like the typical reality TV trash. No offense.
No, it is trash.
But-
It is. 100%.
Yeah.
Do you guys think, like, because obviously, and Heather, do you want to get your thoughts on this? Like, they kind of, I don't know if you guys remember, but we had an idea of who was going to win a little bit. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember they had us get into the limo in a
Yes.
specific
Yes.
order.
Right.
And I remember being in the middle and, like, looking at you guys and being like, they had us get in a specific order. So either you win or you win. So whatever that means, I lost.
Right.
So once
I
you
do
got
remember
out,
that.
Casey, I was like, okay.
Yeah, she has it in the bag.
Yeah. But so I'm curious what you think, Heather, because I remember this too, that Nick had told us something like when we all had filmed, he had said something like, oh, they kind of gave me an idea of who to pick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like the producers
Right.
had an idea of how they wanted this to go. And I feel like in a way, it's like weight shaming the way that they did it. Did you
Yeah.
feel like that as well?
Yeah, I did. And I mean, not that I care so much, but yeah, I could totally see what MTV was doing. And if you've watched other episodes, that's like how the
Their
episodes
thing.
go. Yeah, it's how Date My Mom. I don't remember. I mean, maybe there is, but where like the hottest one won. So
Yeah.
I definitely think that was like their plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Did that affect
And-
you at the time? Like when something like that comes out and
know,
you're
you're
like,
so young.
now all my
Yeah.
friends and family are watching this thing where MTV's trying
And your
to
mom is
embarrass me.
there.
Right.
That too.
No, I don't remember it really affecting me. I don't think we had like social media that big at the time. So
Yeah.
like maybe if it was now and I was that age, like it probably would. But at the time, I was just like so excited to go on an MTV show. Like,
Right,
I didn't give a shit.
right.
I didn't care. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is fun. And
Yeah.
it was like more of a good memory. So I didn't.
Do you think
Really
if they brought it back and they did this episode, like our episode, exactly in the way that they did it?
Where you
you
guys are the mums. You
Oh,
guys could be the
God,
mums now.
imagine.
You've
That's
aged
so
a little.
funny.
Yeah, and maybe our daughters
Yeah.
went on. Do you think this kind of like storyline that they had with like the weight shaming, do you think that could have held up today?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think that would be like a hard no.
Yeah.
It's strange
don't
that
think we'll like it.
it's strange that it even they let it happen back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But now especially is like we want to encourage all body types and you see that in ads and everything. And I think we're on that trajectory where we're kind of going away from like making fun of
Yeah.
people who are heavier and kind of trying to be inclusive of everybody.
Mm.
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of the train we're on right now.
totally.
Mhm.
And to be fair, like Heather, everybody in the comments are like, she's the baddest girl
Yeah.
out of all of them. Like, she's hot.
Yeah.
What's her number? What's her Insta? So,
Thank
yeah,
you.
you definitely are getting a lot of love.
But did you feel sort of like almost set up by MTV?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why I kind of wish Nick would have come on the podcast just so we can get his perspective. Like, did they tell you that? Like,
Right.
how much was like scripted on his end?
Right.
I would
But-
love
yeah.
to know that.
I know. Me
Yeah.
too. But
I mean, I
yeah.
even remember, like, when they had him do his solo,
Mhm.
like, lines. Like, obviously, those are them being like, oh, what about this? What about this? And I do remember there was some guy that was almost like a comedic writer that was
Yeah.
there that would kind of be, like, saying funny little lines
Mhm.
that this person would think up on the fly.
Right.
So I do remember that
I
a
do
little
remember
bit
that
from
now
that
that you
day.
say that.
Yeah.
When did it dawn on you that sort of like you felt like you were sort of like almost being used rather than being sort of just having a fun experience just for you?
Probably when I saw them. Like,
Oh,
when we all got
God,
together,
Heather.
honestly. Because before that, we didn't see each other
Right.
or we filmed everything separate.
Mhm.
So that day of when they filmed that,
Mm-hmm.
probably.
I didn't
you-
even think about that.
Yeah.
You had like a pit in your stomach, sort of like, what are these guys doing to me?
Yeah. A little bit, but I still just went with it and we'll see what happens. And
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we had filmed this over 2 days.
Yeah.
So the first day was kind of like your shots with your mom, and then the mom goes on the date with the guy.
Right.
And when the guy went on the date with your mom, we got to go and like spend some cash or whatever
Right.
and like have some free time. And then the last day was the beach day where they do the reveal. And that's when we got to meet.
Right.
But I want to know, how did you ladies get on the show?
My mom actually did everything. So I just showed up. I wasn't even like, Mom, I want to go on this show so bad. It was actually her who put like the whole thing together. And I don't remember like how people did that back then. Like,
Right.
did they call someone? I don't even remember, to be honest. But I remember that she was like the orchestrator of the whole thing.
Okay. How about you, Heather?
So I remember I got like a message on MySpace. So
Oh my gosh.
back when
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got a message from someone that said they were like with casting with MTV for this show, and if they liked my profile, if I would be interested in coming down and auditioning. And I remember going to somewhere, I think in LA, and did an audition, and like they interviewed me, my mom, and then us together. And I just remember my mom was so like, she's such like my cheerleader. She just cried the whole time. Like literally cried the whole time, like talking about me. And then we just got a call that we were selected. And
Amazing.
yeah.
That's really interesting that they found you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like looking back now, do you think that was like done on purpose?
Maybe.
Like, now knowing like kind of how they
had
set
a
it up in
certain-
the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get onto it?
So my mom's or my stepdad's sister and her daughter were on it.
Okay.
And so they had referred my mom and I.
Got
So that's
it.
how we
Okay.
got on
That's
it.
crazy. It's all a different
Yeah.
way. That's neat.
But I think we got paid. We were kind of talking about this. I think we got paid like $200, and then if you won,
Right.
you get like an extra $100
It
or
was-
something
yeah.
like
Nice,
that.
Heather.
Very minimal.
Heather.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you won and he wanted to go on a date with you, outside of the show, what happens when the cameras stop rolling? Do you go on the date? Do you talk to him again?
Yeah, what was
Nope.
that?
Nope.
Did you guys exchange phone numbers or anything?
Nope. Mm-mm.
You didn't go on a
No.
date?
No. Mm-mm.
Wow.
Not at
Good
all.
for you.
Didn't talk at all. Like, no.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but like I had a boyfriend
Same.
when I went on
Same.
this.
You had a
Oh, okay.
boyfriend?
Yes.
I
Wait,
think we all
We
did.
all three
Yes.
were in a relationship when we went on.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe he was too.
Yeah.
I just remember like looking at the timing, 2006. I was like putting it together. I was like, most definitely in a relationship.
What would your boyfriends think of you going on a dating show?
Oh, I got threats. So.
I don't think I told him.
I don't even
Oh, wow.
remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't really either.
This wasn't like a show where you're actually trying to get with the guy.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, fun, like TV
Right.
moment, like super cool to be on MTV during like an iconic time
Yeah.
and like moving
Yeah.
on.
It's not
Yeah.
like we were able to even see him. either.
Right.
Right.
Like we weren't
Yeah.
signing up because we thought he was good looking or anything.
Totally.
We literally were going in blind.
Yes.
Yes.
And we should say Nick is now married with a couple kids, so
Oh, yeah.
he's doing okay. How are your guys' moms today, by the way?
Mine is good. She's loving being a grandma. I have 4 kids now, so she comes and helps me with them when I work, and she's good.
It's crazy you have 4
I know.
kids.
I
Wow,
know.
good for you.
4 kids and married almost 10 years.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And then my mom's still a baddie
Yeah.
on her second marriage, crushing it. Still crazy Gina.
Yeah.
And everyone was mentioning like she has like an AI type voice or
Yes.
like Siri
But I
voice.
didn't know what they were talking about. They said
It's some
from
like
TikTok or something.
yeah, it's like a Siri type voice.
Okay,
Which she
okay.
kind of I guess does sound like that. I just
Yeah.
never noticed. What about you, Casey?
So unfortunately, my story is a little sad. So my mom, she got breast cancer in like 2009, 2010.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and so we went through the whole thing. She did radiation, she did chemo, and she beat it. But unfortunately, with that, she became addicted to pain meds. And so ultimately, she overdosed.
Oh,
That's
no.
horrible,
Wow.
Casey.
Yeah, when I have a son, 11-year-old, and he was 2.5.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
horrible.
so he does not remember her,
Yeah.
which sometimes I think is a blessing in itself. But you know, it's led me to where I am. I'm a nurse now, and I think I'm in that field because of her ultimately.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like she would be looking down right now, seeing us all together and
she
being
would have
proud.
loved that.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did Nick say when he said you can afford to be rude? I was just wondering that.
I know. I hate that so much.
What does that mean?
Because I remember briefly from their encounter, their date, they did like an interrogation. I wish we had a clip of it.
I
Yeah.
know.
They didn't like, like he was an investigator and something came up about like blue collar jobs. And I don't know what was said. By the way, I love people who have blue collar jobs. And I'm not rude, but that's what they were talking about is some comment was made about like working blue collar jobs. Maybe she said something like she wants to date a doctor or lawyer, which is also not true, but that's what I'm assuming it came from.
So kind of in your defense for that, so I remember producers had kind of told us like, me and my mom, like, you guys need to have like an embarrassing moment.
Right.
Something about you that's like a flaw, which I realize now was them setting up why he wasn't going to pick us.
Yeah.
But so a lot of people were asking about kind of my thing too,
Yeah.
because, he had said to your mom, like, I would never date a rude girl or whatever. And then for me, he's like, Gina, the fact that your daughter still sleeps with you, which totally made up storyline, like I mentioned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like so that is obviously my mom, but I didn't grow up with her. So the fact that I like still sleep with her, like wouldn't be possible because I was raised by my grandparents. But that kind of came from, I remember the producers being like, all right, you guys got to figure something out, some kind of flaw. So maybe that's where that came from.
Probably. I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
Casey, can I ask this really awkward question?
Yeah.
On the post that Charlie put up that has 60 million views or whatever, a lot of people asking if you got an OnlyFans or if you want to. Sorry, this question's written down here, so I'm going to ask it.
Listen, if you have an OnlyFans, I like more power to you. I am not opposed to OnlyFans.
So you're saying it's a possibility.
My only
chance.
concern is with my job. Like, I would be mortified if like somebody, I don't even know, can you take a screenshot from an OnlyFans? Like, is there?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Oh, Charlie.
You're a nurse, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
well, I mean, perfect. I mean, marry the two.
I know. So I even thought like I could wear like a sexy nurse outfit and
Yeah.
some
Oh, I
people might
love
have
it.
like a fetish. I do have a funny story about that though, if you guys want to hear it.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
let's
on.
hear it.
I told the girls this, but there was a guy and he was one of many that DM'd me
After the post went viral.
after the post went viral, and he's like, if you send me a pic, I'll send you $50. No, like it has to be topless, da da da. So I sent him a picture of me in my scrubs, and the money continued to flow in.
Stop it.
No way. Wait,
Yeah.
stop right now.
So, like-
where is this guy? Send him my way. I've had no requests.
He's not interested in you, sorry. Charlie.
Yeah, all I know is he's a guy from Michigan, and he kept saying, well, can you take another one at work? Like, obviously can't do that. But then I'd randomly get like a Venmo notification, $100.
No way.
$150.
Wait,
Yeah,
stop.
and I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Good for you, Casey.
Thank
Good
you.
for you're the winner for
Yeah.
sure.
That is
you.
amazing.
Yeah.
And then Heather, kind of just going back, everyone saw Nick's response when he saw you. He kind of said like, "Oh, the boobs are big."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at least there's that. How did you feel watching that back? Were you like, "Hell yeah, the boobs are big," or like,
Yeah.
what?
I mean, yeah, he wasn't lying, and yeah, I really didn't feel any type of way about it. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then what are you up to now?
Just being a mom, and I am in real estate, so I have my real estate license and my real estate team for about 3 years, and just doing that.
All right. So if anyone needs a
Yes.
house, this is your girl,
got
and she's
you.
hot, so that helps. Anything else that you guys saw? Like, I mean, we were all getting like peppered with questions, or
Yeah.
anything that you want to clarify. I do want to clarify one thing: the wind. There
yeah.
was not a wind fan.
People were obsessed with the wind.
I know, because for my part, like the
It was
wind, like
bad.
it was really windy that
It
day.
was
You
cold.
can
And
see in that
freezing.
one shot, we're like all shaking.
Yeah,
'cause it was
yeah.
freezing.
It was
was
freezing. That was a question that kept coming up. Was like, what's up with the wind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, nature.
Yes, right. Well, it's crazy to see you guys
I
after 20
know.
years.
It's awesome.
So neat.
Knowing what you know now, would you like go back on the show or try out for another sort of reality show? You know, maybe not dating if you're in a relationship or whatever, but like, well, do you feel like deceived by reality TV in a way, or would you go
Well,
back?
prior to this, I also did Next.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And a funny story about that was the guy that I chose, we ended up at ASU together and had a hooking up relationship.
No way. Well, so Next became like, oh, I'll see you next.
I think Next was after Date My Mom, if
Oh,
I
okay.
remember correctly. Yeah, but just a funny little.
You're a
love it.
That
reality
is
show
funny.
junkie.
Yeah, not anymore. Not
Not
anymore.
anymore. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Yes,
you
thank
too,
you.
Charlie.
I know. I love it. It's been so fun, like
So fun.
reconnecting with you girls, like after all these years, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's been super fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad we all found each other.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
And Nick, you really missed out.
Yeah.
So
You're
let's
so
make that sad. Yeah, Nick, you're stupid. Thank you everyone for watching at home, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.